Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. Today is Saturday the 18th, I think, of February, and this is Flosstube number 28. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of Flosstubes, or for me anyway. I know that some people are in like the hundreds, but yeah. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody back who is a subscriber or has watched my videos before. Thank you very much for coming back and watching my videos again. And if you're new around here, and I have had some new subscribers recently, then I hope you enjoy what you see and consider clicking on that subscribe button and sticking around for some more cross-stitch content. I am going to be updating you on my progress with full coverage February. I've got a little bit of shop news and a little bit of haul. Yeah, and then some more cemented plans for later in the year, I think, and for the rest of February as well. So it's been a half term here in the UK, and this is like the weekend at the end of half term. So we've had a lovely week off with Bella. We did lots and lots of different things with her. You know, we had her cousins round on Wednesday. We went out with her on Monday. It was my husband's birthday on Tuesday, which is of course Valentine's Day. He's a Valentine's Day baby. And then we did some sort of things separately. So I had a lovely afternoon out shopping with my mum, and then Stefan got to go to golf yesterday, which is lovely. So yeah, it's about 3:45 in the afternoon. So it's been a really overcast day here today. So the lighting, if it was sunny, probably would have been a little bit better, but can't really help that. I have to kind of fit in filming where I can, basically. So yeah, I am just gonna get into it basically. I was participating in the Full Coverage Fanatics February 2023 bingo challenge, as well as Full Coverage February. So I sort of was combining the two things, and I showed you my board last time I filmed, so I'm going to show it to you again because I have completed that first row. So I've put all of I've sort of filled it all in, highlighted it all down here, and then put all of my stitch counts down the bottom. So the only thing that I changed was the project for number 2, which was smallest design, because I realised that Daydreaming wasn't 100% full coverage, so I switched it out for the Fox. They're both Fox projects, but yeah, that was my smallest full coverage project, so I went for that in the end. So I managed to get a line in the board. I knew I wasn't ever going to get a black out, because of course you have to do, if you're going to count anyway, you have to do 1,000 stitches. There's an option to do a non-counting version, but because I use Pattern Keeper for all of my full coverage, it kind of makes sense for me to keep track of stitches. So cup of tea. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to share with you what I've done. I'm not going to talk about a stitches shelf for this challenge. I'll just talk about it in general, because the stitches that I did for that I shared in my last Flosstube video for this challenge anyway. But yeah, I'm just going to go through all of my whips. I'm going to grab them as I see them. So let's just get my tablet ready, because I quite like, actually no, I have all of the stitches, yeah, but I don't have the percentages, but I have them on my phone, sorry. Bear with me. Yeah, I have them all on here. Okay, so the first project that I'm going to show you is What's this? It's the packet for the material. I should really throw that away. This is Winter Montage by artwork by Janet Stever, and this is charted by Pain Free Crafts. I'm stitching this as part of the Stever Montage sale that lots of fellow Flosstubers and other stitchers are joining in with. So my goals for these montages for the year are to do 3,000 stitches in a season, and that basically means 1,000 stitches a month. And of course I put it as part of my bingo challenge, and I managed to get 1,078 stitches on this in total. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of where it was the last time that you saw it, because I don't know whether I did show that in my video or not. I'll have to look back on my last video and sort of see. But yeah, 1,078 stitches, and this is now at 2.09%. So you can see I'm just working on this first page, and this is the bottom couple of rows. Maybe there's like 3 rows down here to go of this first page, and this second leaf is completely filled in, and then I started bringing in some of the colours into the third leaf. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this is going. I think it looks incredible. Really pleased with how it is. I love the pattern, I love the material that I've chosen. This is a piece of 25 count, and I always do 1/1. I think it's from a company called Stitchtastic, but I bought it off of Amazon. Yeah, I think it's a fat quarter. So yeah, really pleased with that. And I was kind of bummed that now that's going away until winter comes around at the end of this year. But then we've got the spring chart to stitch on, which I still need to buy, but I will buy at some point in March. So that's project number 1. Let's just throw that way over there. Okay, project number 2 is this one here. So this is Feline Flosstube. It's artwork by Sophie Wilkins, and this was charted for me for my own personal use by the wonderful Kayli at Kayli 10 Stitch. So yeah, this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And I will put a picture up on the screen of what it looked like the last time that you saw it. And I really rocked with this one. So I stitched a total of 1,397 stitches. I kind of have to fold this up to show you properly. And it is now at 4.52%. My goal is to get it to 10% by the end of the year, and I kind of feel more and more like that's really doable. What does this look like? There we go. Try and get it to a place where it's easy to show you. So this is what it looks like now. And you can really see the detail in the leopard's nose here. And then of course her nose is coming in a lot more now. This is sort of like her nostril area. So I worked on filling in a bit more of the nose. I was switching between her nose, the leopard's nose, and then filling in a bit more of her chin and a bit more of the side of her cheek here. And then I did do some stitches over here as well, so I didn't want to neglect that side of her face. But it is lovely. I just love the detail in it. I love the way that the colour is coming together. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, really pleased with that. I definitely, like I said, I definitely think I can get it to 10% and by the end of the year. Sort of my sort of monthly goal on that is to do about 1,000 stitches a month. And I've surpassed that for both months that I've worked on it so far. So that's good. Shove this material back in here. Okay. The next one is Supersize Max Colour Santa's Workshop, and this is artwork by Thomas Kincaid, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. So I should try not to get the glare from the light. Again, all of the full coverage that I've talked about so far is on 25 count, 1/1 full cross. That's all of my full coverage basically. So yeah. So I worked on this for 2 days, I think, and I got 1,289 stitches, and this is now at 0.34%. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of what it looked like the last time that I showed you, just while I have a sip of my tea. And then this is what it looks like now. So I decided to do something different with this one. What I've basically decided to do is work the first 10 by 10 like row all the way around the outside of the pattern. I fancied it basically. I just sort of came up with the idea of what if I stitch essentially like the border of the piece, and then I can then work the next bit in and the next bit in, so every time I do it it'll get a little bit smaller. This is a massive border obviously, but yeah, that was kind of my idea. So I am a cross-country stitcher, so when it calls for it I will go across and down, so you can see that I've done some of the stitches downwards, and that's fine, and because it's fine for me as well because I don't want to see lines in my stitching, but that's where we got to. There were a lot of black stitches, not exclusively, but I think that's kind of why it went so quickly, because I was doing a lot of block stitching. The end of the third page is like here, and then we get to see different colours come in. So if I show you on the picture, sort of working up here, and then you can see it starts to get lighter and we start to get like this bit up here come in. So I'm going to get some different colours up here. Can't wait to get to the blue. So yeah, I just think that'll be a really good way of doing it. And also, like, I can work wherever I want to then. You know, I might want to work a little bit in the bottom, a little bit in the top left hand corner, a little bit in the top right. Like I could go anywhere I wanted to basically. So that's my plan with that one. I haven't necessarily like dedicated 1,000 stitches to it month, because this is a new start this year. It isn't part of my like goals or my plans for this year. So I'm just sort of stitching on it when I fancy it. So it just happens to be that I've done 1,000 or over 1,000 stitches on it both months of the year so far. So that's that one. Then the project that I switched out, so I was going to work on, like I said, Daydreaming, which is a kit by Marishka. Realised it wasn't full coverage, and full coverage fanatics is what it says on the tin, you know, it has to be full coverage. So I decided to pull out, this is Fox 6, the artwork is by Miriam Russo and the pattern is by Kayli at the Sewing Shop. I'm doing this as a model stitch for her. So this is a relatively small full coverage piece. So you can see here it's 32,000, just over 32,000 stitches. And I was having a bit of trouble with this when I first started it. And I was sort of saying, you know, one is the fact that it's on hand-dyed fabric. So it's not as easy for me to see as stitching on white, you know, I do have to concentrate. I didn't like working from, all of the floss was on these floss cards, and I didn't like working from that, so I put all of the floss. It's messy. It's not like nice looking flossering, you know, like some Flosstubers hold up. So I put all of my floss on floss drops. Find my words, and that became much easier. And I decided when I started stitching this in February that I wanted to work up to something that would make the fox recognisable, so that I didn't just feel like I was stitching random colours and it was just a blob of nothing. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of what it looked like the last time that you saw it, which was basically very nothingy. And they sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought there. I stitched 1,366 stitches on this, and I'm now at 5.99% complete. So this is what it looks like now. Or what can I do with this? Put this behind it, perhaps. I need one of those boards. And this is what it looks like now. So I worked up to the fox's nose first of all, and then I worked up to his eyes, or her eyes. It's like a little fox cub, isn't it? So this was much more enjoyable to stitch on, because I could recognise what I was stitching basically, and I do think that's important. And then towards the end of that stitching few days, I started stitching a lot of white. So this is 3865 here, and there's a lot of it around the outside of the fox, and I think that's my plan moving forward with this. I sort of want to do so many stitches on this a month, and I think I'm going to concentrate on sort of almost outlining him with the white, just to kind of get the shape of him. And you can see the width that he's going to be, because this is one side of him and then this is the other side. So obviously I haven't got the height yet, but you can see how wide he's going to be. He's not going to be big. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I feel much more motivated to work on that now. And I feel like I can get him done within a reasonable time frame. We'll see. So that is that one. And then the final full coverage is of course a stitching shelf. Which is the Super Size Max Colour version. So you guys have seen this a lot. This is my long-term big project. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And I do have to get my tablet out for this one, because of course the numbers on here don't apply now. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of where it was at the last time that you saw it. What's happening here? Oh, it's... And it's asking me to do an update. Oh well, I'll just read here. So this is at 3.30%. Dare I press that update button? I have downloaded all exported all of my progress, because on Facebook the other day I did see that I can't remember the lady's name, but she did post about the fact that there was going to be an update. So yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I can't deal with that right now. So this is where it's at now. And I've been working on this page down here. So you can see some green coming in down here. So we get some greenery in here, and then it goes into sort of like the floor where the key is. So some greenery in the floor, and then we get the bottom of the shelf as well. So I think I will hit, yeah, I'm going to hit the bottom of the shelf basically in this page. So yeah, this is looking really good. I had a day this week where I realised that I was off a little bit, and I had a bit of a frogging session here, I think of about 100 stitches, which was not fun. I got that really bad stinking feeling, because this is of course so many stitches, and I feel like with full coverage you can't fudge things. You know, once you've got one thing off, if you're trying to work off of it, you can't work off of it. Like yeah, I just feel like you can't fudge it. So the more I was looking at this on that particular day, the more I was like, oh my god, like how many stitches am I going to have to pull out? But in the end, it was like a little section of stitches here. I pulled those out, and then I'm just, every time I'm stitching something up here and then going down, I'm counting everything around it just to make sure, is that okay? Is that in the right place? Yeah. So yeah, this is what it's looking like now. So this morning I was just filling in a little bit of the pink here, a little bit of the black, and working down like that. So yeah, it's just this row here, that one. Brilliant. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yes, that is that one. Put that back in the bag. And the last one that I started working on yesterday, I think I'm going to have to reach to grab it, was the Daydreaming kit. After I couldn't do it for the bingo, I had a bit of a hankering to work on it afterwards. So that's what I did basically. So this is Daydreaming. It's a kit by Marejka. So everything that you need is in the kit. It's on 16 count Ada. It's like a creamy colour. It comes with DMC threads and of course the pattern. My goal for this one is to get it to, it was one of my full coverage goals, and it's not full coverage, but anyway, it was to get it to 25%, so to complete one page basically of the pattern, because it's four pages. And this is what it's looking like now. So when I showed this to you in my whip parade, I just had this little block done here. So what I've decided to do first of all is to work across to like the middle here, which the page obviously ends somewhere here. So to work across in like 10 by 10 rows basically. Yeah, and try and get all of those colours in and then work my way down. So yeah, I'm working on this grass area up here at the moment. This is all tent stitch, but some of it is like the darker green is 4 strands of that colour, and then this sort of lighter green colour is a blend and it's got 3 strands in it. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. But it's really lovely, works up quickly. This is, I did all of this yesterday. So that was really good. I'm enjoying it. So what I might try and do is get across to the other side in this stitching session and then work my way down in subsequent stitching sessions this year. I might not make it to 25%, but I said in my goals video that they were personal goals and it didn't really matter if I didn't meet them. So yeah, so they were all of my whips. Oh dear, I almost feel like I'm getting a bit of a sore throat, but I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, because Bella started getting a bit of a chesty cough last night. She was up a little bit in the night, and when I say in the night, it was sort of around 10 or 11, so she wasn't awake loads in the middle of the night, but yeah, we got this sort of little bit of chestiness. It's not terrible, otherwise I would have called 111, but yeah, so I don't know whether like we've both caught something or whether this is just in my head or whatever. I don't know. So talk about plans for the rest of February, I think. I would like to start Raven by Nora Corbett, because of course it's Fancy Lady February as well, and that's being hosted by Dawn Marie and Anna from DM's Crafty Vortex. And I really want to restart Raven on that lovely fabric that I got from Megan at Coffee Craft. So that's a goal for the rest of February. And then actually I want to pull out some of my projects that I haven't worked on, and then I might reward myself with a new full coverage start at the end of February. I don't know. We'll see, because I'm talking as if there's like loads of days in February left, and there aren't. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just roll with it. Plans for March. I'm toying with the idea of participating in March Madness, which I think is an event that's hosted by the Steel City Stitches. Haven't seen any information come up about it yet. I'm toying with that idea. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to work. Not just going to work. I want to work heavily on projects that are non-full coverage to kind of rebalance things a little bit, because obviously I've spent a lot of time working on full coverage over the last couple of months, and especially this month. I want to rebalance things. I want to get things out that I haven't worked on this year or for a while. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So those are kind of upcoming plans. I did have a few people say to me that they were interested in sort of a monogamous May, both watching me do something like that, but also participate in it themselves. So that's great. I was thinking that I might almost do like a vlog style wrap up of that. So sort of sit down at the end of every week and film some sort of vlog style update of where I am with that, and then put it all together and post it at the end of May. That might be an option for how to put that together. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so last thing to talk to you about is haul. My haul box. I'm going to put it up there so I'm not showing it to you. I'll just talk to you about shop update first of all. So I had last week I had a new artist go up on the shop. She's called Ritika Aurora. She's an Indian artist living in America, and her work is stunning. So this is Wanderlust by her. And actually I've got some material coming because I want to start this one. I mean, I love loads of the stuff that I've put up on the shop, but I kind of have a real hankering to do this one. I mean, the eye is just incredible. So yeah, I want to start that one. The other one, the circle one that's gone up on there is this one. This is called Dreams. Just stunning. Really, really, really good. And then slightly different from her is one called Divine Wilderness. Love the colours in this one. The lady is stunning. Yeah, really, really nice. And then charts that went up on the shop this morning. I have a couple more by Julie of Baluli Arts. This one is called Mental Wire Woman. Love this. She's awesome. Love, love it. And then this one is called Femme Fleurs. I love like the colour in her eye area. Absolutely amazing. And then one by Louise McNaught. One of my subscribers sort of requested this, so it's gone up on the shop now, and she already knows because she put on Instagram about it. But this is Mercurial by Louise McNaught. Lovely fox. So you could choose to get rid of the background of this one, although the background does kind of go into the fox, and there isn't a solid outline around the fox's feet. So to chart this without the background would be very challenging. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'm up to that challenge. I have tried, but I think you lose too much of the detail of the fox. But you could decide where to cut off the cream in the background if you wanted to. But yeah, he's up on the shop now for you to stitch. And I actually have a giveaway going on my Instagram at the moment, so you can go. I mean, today's Saturday, I'm uploading this, hopefully it will go up overnight. So by close of play, like midnight GMT on Monday, or like going into Tuesday, I am having a giveaway on my Instagram because I've reached 1,000 followers over there, and it's to win a chart from the shop. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go and check that out over there. So those are those ones. Let's put those over there. Oh, this is something that I forgot to show you last time that I filmed, actually. So I asked Kayli from Kayli Tent Stitch. Oh, it's not actually in here. Oh, here we go. To dye me a piece of material for this chart here. This is Beauty and the Beast 2017 by Tilton Crafts, and the artwork is by Daniel Kordek. And this is the first full coverage chart that I ever bought before I really knew what full coverage was or what it entailed or whatever, and it sort of sat in my stash for that whole time. Now that I'm actually stitching full coverage, I thought actually it's high time that I get this out. Somebody on a Facebook group that I'm on put a post up about, oh, do you think I could stitch this without the background? What sort of fabric would you go for? And I thought that was a fabulous idea. And so I asked Kayli to dye me a piece of fabric. So basically I can just stitch Beauty and the Beast and nothing else. And for the first time, I asked for 28 count because I'm going to be doing this tent stitch, which is something that I've not tried before either. So she dyed me this piece of fabric. It's opalescent. This is what it looks like. It's amazing. So you can see the sparkle if I bring it up close. Yeah. And you can see that sort of middle circle bit, the lighter bit in the middle. It's going to be so good. Yeah, it's a bit apprehensive about stitching on 28 count. But Kayli and I had a conversation about it, and she said, and I didn't know this, that 28 count is much better for projects that don't have a lot of confetti in them. And this one doesn't. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. So I'm now going to put this in the project bag. And I just need to make some floss drops for that, and that is ready to go. Let's put this here. Oh dear. Right, okay. Valentine's Day was this week. Obviously, I bought lots of presents for my husband for both Valentine's Day and his birthday. And then he bought me, upon request, obviously, the Reaching Skyward 2023 stitch along from Modern Folk Embroidery. I'd mentioned that I wanted this, and he was sort of saying to me, oh, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And I was like, well, you could kit this up for me. So he did. He bought me the chart, the material, and the floss. So I'm not going to get the material out because I just went for a 32 count even weave. So even weave this time. I like stitching on the linen, but I kind of have a thing for even weave at the moment. And then I've gone for these two colours. So this is inspired by someone on Instagram, and I can't remember who it is, but I'm following the hashtag, the MFE sale 2023, I think it is. And there's a lady on there who's doing it in these two colours, and I loved it. So I messaged her to kind of ask what are the colours, and she very graciously told me. So the outside sections, like the what's essentially blue on here, is going to be 04, which is one of the new colours. And then everything else is going to be 605. And I think those will be incredible together. So yeah, there are different options that you can have in this. Like you can stitch, are they peacocks instead of, I can't remember what they are. But I like the deer in here. And then you can buy a separate chart pack to change the middle motif. I'm not sure about that at the moment. I'll sort of see how it goes. I love the words here though. You root deep and reach skyward. Amazing sentiment. So the chart is split up into sections, but it's not being sent out monthly, so you can just go ahead and stitch whatever you want of it. And I have put it into Pattern Keeper. There was a Pattern Keeper like compatible chart that came with when you bought the pattern, and I just put it in, so that isn't split up into 12. But I don't know. I don't really know how I'm going to stitch it. We'll sort of see. And this is another one that I kind of want to start in February, but I don't have all the time in the world, so it might have to be a March start. Sorry, let me see. A bit more tea. It's got a bit cold now, but there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the piece that I've charted myself. I need to buy a piece of material for it, but there's a British I think she's British. A British artist called Sophie Tea, and she does lots of nude artwork. So if you're offended by that kind of stuff, then look away now. This is a piece called Marley, and I got permission to chart this for personal use. So she isn't interested in anything else. But yeah, I could chart this for my own personal use. So this is Marley. I love it. I'm toying with the idea of getting rid of the background, we'll see. But yeah, the colour palette is right up my street, so I've got that to add. I bought a few of these gnomes. These are their summer gnome collection. I can't remember, I think it's Wonderland Ukraine on Etsy that these are from, but of course I'll link them all down below. They come as sets of 3. And I think it was Laura Stitching by the Shore that is stitching some of these, and I saw them on her channel and really liked them. So these are the summer ones. She's stitching them without the background, and I like that idea. So this is the first one, second one, and the third one. But yeah, they're all in my Pattern Keeper, so all the patterns are compatible. You have to enter the floss for it, but and then the last couple of things that I've got. This is from Mustache Unload on Facebook. There was a lady there who was selling a lot of her stuff that presumably she wasn't going to get around to stitching, or she wasn't interested in stitching it anymore. I've never stitched a Pantini chart, but I've seen lots of other people stitch them and I really liked them. And she had all of the seasons of When I Think Of, and these all come with the buttons. So yeah, the buttons are in here. It is. So this is When I Think of Summer, and then When I Think of Spring. You can see the buttons in there. This is When I Think of Winter. And then When I Think of Autumn. So yeah, really pleased to have those. And these were all done on raw linen. So I quite like them on that material. So I think I'll probably do something similar. Put that back. And then the last thing I got, kind of went on a bit of a journey to get here. This is a kit that I've been after for a while. And I've had it as a saved search on eBay. So if you're ever after something that is a bit rare or doesn't come up very often, and you know, I search for things on eBay all of the time, what you can do up the top, there's a save this search button with like a little heart next to it. And what it basically does is emails you when something is listed that matches that search description that you put in. So this is a kit that I've seen Debbie from Mama Bear Stitchery stitch, and I think Amy from Amy Loves Toads has also stitched this. So this is Giants of the Sea by Sunset, which is essentially Dimensions, and I just loved the way, I loved it when I saw them stitch it. So this is a kit, comes with all of the floss, and this is a 14 count Blue Ada. So yeah, just have some killer whales, and I really liked it. So I bought this about 3 weeks ago, and last Thursday, so not this Thursday gone but the Thursday before, it had been about a week and a half and it still hadn't got here. The lady had sent it second class tracked. I thought, oh, you know, second class tracked, it's second class, but it really should be here by now. So I messaged her and I said, oh, I haven't received this kit. You know, can I have the tracking number for it? And she messaged me back with a picture of somebody's signature saying that the kit had been delivered and somebody had signed for it, and there was this name on there. I said, I haven't had a note put through the door, because usually what Royal Mail do is they'll stick a note through the door saying it's at number 2 or whatever. Yeah, whatever it might be. I hadn't had one. So I sort of knocked on a few of the neighbours' doors and sort of said, oh, you know, is this your last name? Like, do you know anybody else in the area who has this last name? And nobody knew. So I messaged a lady back and I said, look, I don't really have any neighbours with that last name. I said, I don't really know what's going on, but can you give me the tracking number, and then I will, I'll contact Royal Mail and I'll ask what's happened to it. She'll let me just have a little check about things my end. Anyway, it turned out that, bless her, she had she'd sold 2 kits that weekend and accidentally sent both of them to the other person. So she had to get in contact with the other person and get them to send it back, basically. And they sent it special delivery to me last week, and then I finally received it. So she was so embarrassed and things, bless her. And I said, oh, well, you know, don't worry, these things happen. As long as I get it, it's fine. And I did, and it was absolutely fine. So yeah, big journey to get here, but it eventually got here. So yeah, we're all good with that. So yeah, another kit to put in my collection to stitch at some point. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. One thing I did want to say is I'm thinking of investing in a lap stand. I got rid of my Lowry at the end of last year because and I explained in my review that I stitch a lot in hand. I didn't think that I needed it, but also, like, the sofa that I've got, it didn't really reach across in the way that I wanted it to, even with the extra long bar that you could buy. But I have been thinking that a lap stand might be better for me, because I do have projects where I do like to put them in a frame, like my Daydreaming, for example. And I did think that actually stitching in a frame some of the time, or with a stand some of the time, you know, might help me in terms of my posture and things like that, you know, because we often sit hunched over our stitching and things. And I don't want to do anything to affect my back and my shoulders. So the one that I have been watching some reviews of is the Elan lap stand by Artisan Designs, and Brenda from Handwork Maniac has got a review of that on her channel. Yeah, and I just wanted to know whether there were any of my subscribers or viewers who had used that particular lap stand, who knew anything about it. It is made in America, so I would have to have it shipped over. But also, if you've got any experience of other lap stands that you can put, you know, a Q-snap in, you know, do you use any lap stands? Would you recommend any? Yeah, if you could leave those, any of that in the comments down below, I'd find that really, really helpful. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, as always, I love talking to you guys in the comments down below, so please leave me any questions, anything you want to say. Yeah, I love talking to you. And I will see you in a couple of weeks, so it'll be at some point in the beginning of March. Just look up on my calendar when that might be. So actually the beginning of March, so like the 4th or 5th of March, something like that. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I want to say have a good couple of weeks to everybody. I hope you all get some good opportunities to stitch, but also that you enjoy your life, enjoy spending time with your friends and your family, and that everything is good for you. Happy stitching, and I will see you soon. Bye.